Hey everyone, I'm back with another amazing thriving interview, and today we have here with us Miss Danielle Wotherspoon from South Africa. So Miss Wotherspoon was diagnosed with infiltrating ductal carcinoma, which is breast cancer, in the year 2009. But she refused the medical treatments, chemotherapy, hormonal therapy that she was suggested, and went ahead to go towards the natural route and healed herself completely. And today it's been more than 15 years and she's thriving and she's living a life. And today she's here with us to share a fantastic story. So hello, Ms. Wotherspoon, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much, Shubham, for this opportunity to share with your listeners, my story.
Thank you so much for doing this. I mean, people here in India would be highly appreciative of the fact that you are sharing such a wonderful story for them. And probably they'll be very inspired. They'll be very inspired with your journey.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I assure you that. So, to begin with, how did it all start? I mean, what was the official diagnosis and how did it go ahead? I mean, what happened? How did you find your cancer?
Well, we never expect to hear that diagnosis that you have cancer. And I wasn't a typical candidate, according to the cancer website. They always say that you've got to be overweight, you've got to smoke, you've got to drink. I did none of those things. But after I've been on my journey a little bit, I did realize that I was very, very stressed. And stress plays such an important role on our health. And that was definitely, and then also there were other telltales, like, I was constipated and I wasn't really enjoying life. So these things all contribute to a deficient immune system. And cancer is really the cause of a deficient immune system. The immune system is just not working properly. So what happened is that my husband got very ill. He went to have his dental fillings removed in one sitting, all 8 of them, and he became very, very ill. We didn't know what it was. And it was like a shock. And normally you will find that when there's this shock, that is when the cancer really comes to the fore. It manifests itself. So a big shock. And I was standing in the shower one day and I was washing myself, and all of a sudden I felt this lump, and it was quite large. It was quite visible because I'm quite a skinny person, or like most of your ladies are in India. So I discovered it, and I couldn't share it with my husband because he was too ill. He couldn't take another burden. So I tried various things, and I was already aware of natural things, and I tried, but I was feeling that it was just getting bigger and bigger. It was growing. So that was in the year 2008. So by that year, in around about October, I decided that I need to find out what is going on here. So I went for a needle biopsy at that stage, and ultrasound, because I didn't want to do anything more invasive. I don't really wanted that. So, but the lab test came back inconclusive.
And so this was in 2009? This was all in 2009, right?
Yeah, that was 2008. So then we decided he was then getting better. He was also being treated by integrative medical doctor with alternate treatments, and we discovered he had mercury poisoning from the fillings, and it was removed, and he was getting better, so I could share with him, and we decided then that I will go for the excise biopsy that was done, and you had to stay in hospital or go under anesthetic for the doctor to do that. So they did that. And the lab test came back positive, and there was cancer in my breast as well as cancer in the lymph node under my arm, which was a great shock to me. And when I asked the doctor, so what would you suggest? And she said to me that, of course, now we've got to make appointments with various other doctors, and so that they can look at you further and stage you. And I said to her, well, and we have to look at chemotherapy, radiation, and further surgery to cut out everything now, the lymph node as well. And I said, hang on, I want to look at this. And I asked her the question, and how long would I live if I don't do anything? Nothing.
All right.
And she said to me that you will possibly live 5 years. And I asked her, how long would I live with the treatment? And she said, well, I can only guarantee you 5 years. So, so then I've decided that I will do everything possible, the alternative way, with to do natural methods to get healed.
Got it. So, so it was your husband who had a lot of mercury fillings and who had a lot of dental fillings. All right.
Yes.
So did you? So that caused a lot of stress for you as well. How did it go?
Yes, that was very stressful because he was a man that was very active, and all of a sudden he was dizzy, and he was, he couldn't do his work properly, and and he couldn't exercise. So, but we found this very good doctor, Dr. Spies, an alternate medical doctor, and within about 6 to 7 months, 8 months, he was already much better. And he was detoxing from the metals. So I decided also to use Dr. Spies then for my first 6 months of treatment to detox. But before we go into that whole health journey, I just want to say that, it is so important to understand your body, that your body is so miraculously made that it can heal itself. But the important thing is that you've got to believe that you can heal.
Yeah.
So this is so important to believe that.
Exactly.
Because we have given away our right. We've said, doctor, here I am, you heal me. No, it is your body that has the ability to heal.
Right.
So I decided then to go to Dr. Spies, and the first thing he said to me is that if you want to heal cancer now naturally, you have to heal it physically as well as mentally and emotionally. You have to look at it holistically.
Got it.
So first of all, I thought, I don't have emotional problems. We're so unaware of ourselves.
Yeah.
But as I was into the program, I realized that, and also I discovered a wonderful tool, which I'm going to discuss later on, to help me heal from the emotional baggage that you carry with you, that you pick up in your first 5 years, basically, of life. So Dr. Spies, the first thing he said to me, because he does uriology as well, is that he look in your eye and you can see various things, is that I have the Bilharzia parasite. Now this parasite is present in all our river water here, but it's also present in Asia as well as in South America. So once it enters the body through the skin, you just have to swim in the water. Or be in the water for a little bit. It enters the body through the skin and it multiplies very quickly. And it causes unexplained anemia, and it also then, of course, causes a deficient immune system and fatigue. So I've been suffering from anemia and unexplained anemia and fatigue for quite a while. So the treatment protocols that we followed with Dr. Spies to detoxify the body were electromagnetic homeopathic drops, various supplements and herbs, especially like the cancer bush, which is available here in South Africa, and I think also boswellia, as well as turmeric especially. We did various foot baths to draw out some of the metal toxins and the candida that was present. And lymphatic drainage was very important that we did. Ozone treatments, we give that extra molecule also to help with the detoxing of the body. The Rife resonator that sends certain pulses to your body. And then, of course, last but not least, the high dose intravenous vitamin C.
Vitamin C. Okay.
Very important, because high dose intravenous vitamin C kills cancer cells, but it leaves healthy cells untouched. It works like the following. We knew it actually forms hydrogen peroxide in your body, and it kills the cancer cells. It's like when you drop hydrogen peroxide on a sore on your hand, it will bubble and kill whatever needs to be killed on that sore, but it leaves the healthy skin intact. And so that's how vitamin C, high dose intravenous vitamin C works. Not tablets, but intravenous vitamin C. And there's a certain protocol that you follow here. You start off with a small doses of 15 grams in a 1 liter saline bag, 2 to 3 weeks for the first week. The second week you go up to 30 grams. And then the third and the fourth week you do 65 grams. I detail that all in my book also, so that people can actually go to their doctors and say,
I'll add the description. I'll add the book's link in the description.
Yes, look, I would like to use this because I believe this is the main treatment that I did to kill the cancer cells.
Got it.
So they also in the radiology and oncology department, they did research at UCL. And they said that they learned that chemo and radiation kills cancer cells together with healthy cells. But here comes the most important thing. It stimulates stem cells, cancer cells. So that's why the growth comes back after 2 years. And you have to go through treatment again. And this doesn't happen with the vitamin C. With that initial treatment, you can kill the cancer cells there. And then you just have to make sure that you look after the body, the immune system, once again, which is the holistic view that you have to follow.
Exactly.
So that, I would say, was my main, treatment I follow the first 6 months.
Got it. So this was after, how long after, you got the official diagnosis, and how long after that you started the treatments?
I started almost immediately. I would say about maybe a month after
maybe a
that.
month.
I started with the treatment.
Got it. And were you confident all these natural therapies would work? Weren't you a little hesitant about, all these therapies? Specifically when it comes to a disease like cancer.
Obviously, it is a process, It is a process because there are many voices out there. And you have to come to that place where you believe that this is the route to take. And in 2009, we didn't have as much information on the net as we have now on testimonies of people that healed. You really had to seek. But there is a time that you come to that. I walked very closely with God because I'm a Christian, and I wrestled with Him, and there was a time that I just felt that I know that I will be healed. I came to that deep belief that God will keep me alive on this earth until I fulfill my purpose. And at that stage, it was very important for me to stay alive so I can help my son to grow up. He was only 15 years old.
All right.
So that's how, I think that is how that it's so important to believe again that you can heal through the therapies that you do. And there's just so much out. I mean, look at your channel that you're doing now to show people here are people that survived, after I've started my treatment. It's more, discover the first signs 15 years now. So, yeah. So, of course, food is also very important. So I devoted about a third of my book to food, and I discussed what I did. And I initially went on a vegan diet because I wanted to give the digestive system a rest. Yeah. Because when you eat meat or animal products, it's harder to digest them for the body, and also it takes longer to get excreted through the body. So there's more chance of toxins building up. And you don't need more toxins when you're already so toxic that you even have cancer. So there's also studies that's been done that meat has got the IGF-1 factor, which is the insulin growth factor. And this has been proved that it can develop in the progression of the metastasis in breast cancer. And then also it has got methionine, and methionine can also increase the tumors that's already there. I'm not saying that meat causes cancer. I'm just saying when you have it you actually want to eliminate these things.
So just wanted to ask you one thing here. So after so all these things that you did, diet and lifestyle change, they were under the guidance of the same doctor that you mentioned, right? I mean, the same doctor who was treating your husband as well.
No, I followed my own diet after also doing a lot of research. Dr. Smith helps you with the medicines, which we called energy medicines, and he will help you with the vitamin C, high intravenous drips. And he had foot baths. I eventually got my own foot bath to do my own detox. You need a good foot bath. And I did a lot of infrared saunas to draw out the toxins even further. But there's many things that I've done that through what I've researched and what I've learned on my journey. Like the lymph drainage, which is so important.
Lymph drainage,
So he made me aware of the lymph drainage, and he had this machine that you put on, and it would drain your lymph. But there are wonderful, easy ways to drain the lymph. Now, the lymph is very, very important in curing cancer, because this is the fluid just under your skin here that carries all your white blood cells that can fight cancer, and it helps you to detox also. So if your lymph is blocked, that's when you form these nodes, these lymph nodes, and become a tumor. They can become a tumor eventually. So a very easy thing to do is actually a self-lymph massage, which it's very short time. And I do this every morning as I wake up. And you start here on the neck, and you go to the little indents here in front of your neck, and then in the front of your chest, and under your arms where there's a lot of lymph nodes, and all. That's where we normally spread from the breast.
Exactly.
And then on the sides of the body, and then over the stomach area. The whole torso. And that actually wakes up the lymph. So I do that every morning. Also, another very easy way of getting the lymph to move is to jump for 2 minutes on a rebounder, a little trampoline. So that movement of jumping, when you're up in the air, it opens the lymph. And you only need 2 minutes of that. And the longer you jump, the more your lymph flows, of course.
Exactly.
So that's a fantastic way. And you can get the same sort of results from running, because that impact on the ground is will help the lymph as well.
So you changed your diet, you incorporated a lot of therapies, right? And in order to detoxify your mental or emotional health, how did you go about it?
Yeah, this is a very important one. And this is actually, besides the vitamin C, I would say, is one of the most important things to do. Because I would say that was the most powerful transformation that happened in my life. I had a radical change in mindset, and I challenged my old belief system. So what I discovered this manual, which is called the Healing Codes, which is really an energy medicine that you work with. So you use your own hands to do this. So it's really addressing your old belief system and replacing it then with a positive belief system, or the truth, as we can say. And you do that by holding certain hand positions, and also then to say positive affirmations through it. And you work, there's a very good 12-day program that you can do.
All right.
You work through love, hope, joy, goodness, kindness, all those beautiful qualities, work through that, and it causes phenomenal results. So
how can someone find this type of therapy? I mean, if they want to implement in their life.
This Healing Codes manual that I discovered is written by Dr. Alexander Lloyd, actually. And so they can look at it. He wrote various books. He's got a website as well. And they can, if they buy the book, for instance, they can order the codes then to do it via email. They can order it. So I would highly recommend that someone get it. But there's not only one way, again, of doing something. This was something that I discovered to address those hurts that you pick up in that first 5 years that get boiled on, and they just become bigger and bigger and bigger, and to turn them around. Because really, it's all based, well, mine mainly was based on fear. And I've especially just before my diagnosis, I was like always preparing myself for the worst, very frustrated, and couldn't handle difficulties. I wasn't trusting that anything would work out. And you try to control everything and every situation. And this is so hard, it's such hard work. And in this 12-day program, you just learn to let go and to believe things will work out. Trust that provision is there, so this was such a very, very important thing for me to happen. So after the 12-day program, only 12 days it took. And it's not, I think it's something like half an hour a day, maybe a little bit longer, but half an hour a day for 12 days. Life for me became easier, it became lighter, it became full of hope and purpose, and most of all, I was less stressed, So it's a fantastic tool that I discovered. So so I would encourage anyone to find a tool, find a person even, but this is a self-help tool that you can do at home. You don't have to go and spend thousands on a therapist, for instance. Not that I'm saying don't do the therapist. I myself use a counselor, and it's important to find a counselor. It doesn't need to be someone professional, just someone that you trust, someone that you feel is wise, someone that that's not going to tell everyone your problems. to get someone like that. I got someone like that. And for 6 months, we had a meeting once a week. And in our case, she was godly and we prayed together. I cried a lot during those sessions as I opened up and shared. But she helped me a lot. She made me realize that, we always want to feel secure in life. And no one really knows what tomorrow holds. But the most important thing is to live today, and actually right now, is to enjoy right now is the most important thing in life. Amazing. Yeah, so she helped me to understand that principle.
Amazing. And how long did you follow all these things? The diet approach, the lifestyle approach, the mental health approach?
Yes. The diet I followed for 2 years, but I think it's a bit long. I think that what I read now is that in 4 to 6 months, it's sufficient to be a vegan. Because what happened to me in the 2 years, I became anemic. And so I introduced meat back in again, red meat once a week only, very small piece, only half a palm. That's all you need for my iron. Because it is well known that iron is really very well absorbed from meat, better than from vegetables.
Vegan sources. Exactly.
And also, animal products has got the full amino acid. It's easy to get your full aminos from them.
Got it. So introduced.
Were there not that you can't get it by combining it. You can combine it. You can get it.
Were there any complications while when you were going through this journey of healing? Were there any complications, as you mentioned, like you became anemic?
You mean the side effects that you're talking about?
No, specifically, for example, when you start going towards this journey, right, the natural path. So you start facing some symptoms in your body, like you probably might feel fatigue, or as you mentioned, anemic, right? So anemia was one of our concerns. So were there any complications that you had to face while going through this journey?
Well, I think that as I was doing the treatments, I actually just started to feel better and better, because the treatments helped me to detox of the toxins that was in my body. It killed the viruses and the bacteria that was in the body. It helped the gut to heal, because your gut is so important. That's another subject to talk about, is the gut. Because in most cases, a cancer patient, the gut is less than desirable. And your bacteria, the flora in your bacteria is disturbed, and it is not in balance. And you have to restore that. So a very good way of doing that is actually with enemas, with coffee enemas, which is also very inexpensive, and you can do that at home again. And
all right.
So these enemas will help. It will cause peristalsis in the gut, but it will also help to clear the liver and dilute the gall. And so that will then excrete even more bacteria and viruses from your body.
Got it. And did you opt for a coffee enema or something like that?
Yes, I did a lot of coffee enemas myself. So you can just get yourself a nice big bucket, and you can make your own coffee. And I describe in detail how you do it. And it's very easy, and it's really a fantastic thing to do. They also find that in the research on the coffee enemas, they find that it actually will help with pain as well, if you're suffering from pain. that's how they actually discovered the coffee enema by giving it to soldiers, when they were in pain. So, but it's a wonderful tool to clear the gut and to help the body to detox as well.
Yeah.
Because I think the whole idea is to get rid of toxins, body, mind, everywhere.
Exactly. And how long, all these treatments, how long were they a part of your journey? I mean, how long did you follow all these things? 6 months, 1
Some
year,
of them
or before you started experiencing healing?
I think that the healing really come in the first 6 to 7, 8 months. I started to really feel good and energetic. And I mean, today I feel very well. I do all sorts of things. I do cold water swimming now for my health. So I stay for half an hour in the cold sea, and that is another fantastic thing to do for your health and body, mind, and spirit there.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think after the first 6 to 7 months, you'll start to really feel good. And if you look after yourself, because the immune system is something that you have to take care of for life, actually, and look after the emotions and the mind.
Exactly.
I think that you will live a good life after that. So
Amazing.
So there's many other things that one can do as well. But one of the very important things that I also want to mention is iodine. The thyroid and iodine. In many cases, when we get so tired, we go to the doctor and they put us on thyroid medication. But what happened is they don't supplement with iodine as well, because the thyroid medication actually increase our need for iodine. If we don't give the body the iodine, then the thyroid actually enlarge and form a lesion that can then cause cancer again in the body.
Got it.
So it's very, very important to look at that iodine thyroid connection and cancer connection that I also discovered. There's a very good book out there by, let's find it quickly, by Dr. Brownstein, Iodine and Why You Need It. And, you get Lugol's iodine and you only have to use 2 drops a day.
Got it.
To do that.
Got it. So it was, I think it was a pretty, I would say, it was a pretty intense journey for you also.
Yes, it was, but it was also a journey of discovering new things, of improving myself through it, and a journey that I then wanted to share with others, in that they don't have to go through the harsh treatment of chemo, radiation, and surgery. Because those treatments have very, very severe side effects in the body.
Just wanted to know, was it tough for you after, following the vegan diet, following all the therapies, following all the, doing all the coffee enemas? Did you do it before, or were you even aware of all these things? And after learning about all these things, didn't you find it, will this actually help me, and will this actually heal me? I mean, all these questions might be popping up in your head that time. Will a vegan diet?
Of course, we all have those questions. I mean, but you can say the same when you do chemo and radiation and you swell up, and you all of a sudden, they remove your lymph nodes and your arms swell up like that. So I suppose we're only human to question things And I did many other things that I don't think that worked for me, you know. So that I've decided I'll put that on the shelf, and I've kept the things that I believe that work, because I really went out. I was determined to get healed. I wanted to be there for my son. I didn't want him to grow up, with a mother that's sick and lying in bed and can't participate in his life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's only human to do that, but that's why you need you need people, maybe a good counselor that can say to you, yes, no, this is the good, this is a good path. You're going to get through it. And then also, just to believe that things will work out, that God has got a plan for your life, and that and He gives you the desires of your heart as well. So you have to believe that as well. So I found a lot of comfort in the scriptures. I read the scriptures daily. And I mean, I'm sure you can find comfort in the Hindu scriptures as well, if you're Hindu or Muslim. And there's so much truth in the scriptures,
Exactly.
And one of the most important things is to speak life, like the book of Proverbs in the Bible, for instance, says in Proverbs 18 verse 21, it says, death and life lies in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So in other words, whatever you say today over your life will happen tomorrow. So speak life. So our bodies listen to what we say as well. So I had a mantra, actually, that I used to say, I'm well, whole, and healthy. I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. And I used, in the beginning, I used to say that every morning as I was walking, outside, because it's so important also to get outside. There's so much we can do for our health.
Right.
Get outside early in the morning, see the sunrise, and see God's creation. It is just so magical to enjoy all of that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's really about the mindset. I mean, as soon as you count your blessings, probably, a shift in the mindset also takes place.
Exactly. The mindset. It's the blessings, the thankfulness is so important.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've also learned since then to keep a thank you journal, So every morning I find at least 4 things that I'm thankful for. And I write them down. And you can feel so miserable and think, oh, there's such a miserable day and things are not going well or whatever. You write 4 things down and it changes you. It is amazing how that changes your mind and your mindset. So you're so right about it.
So now summarizing everything, what we actually discovered is that you changed your diet. You intensely detoxified using coffee enemas, drainage therapies. You use a lot of non-toxic therapies. You use high-dose vitamin C IVs. How many times did you use the high-dose vitamin C in a week?
Well, initially you use it quite intensively, and then you taper it down. So the first 4 weeks is really the intensive time where you go 2 to 3 times a week, and then you taper it down. So I taper it down, and now I don't use it anymore because I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. So dietary change, detoxification, non-toxic therapies, lifestyle change, and mental health. Did a lot of affirmations, did a lot of counting your blessings, right? As well as, understanding how mental health is so important, reducing your stress, doing your 12-day healing code program. So all these things in totality made you achieve the healing. And it's just not one factor. How it won't be just diet, it won't be just mental health. So this is something that everyone needs to understand over here. When all these things are combined, then your body starts to respond in a positive way, because you don't know yourself that what part of body is actually, it's what type and what part of body is actually suffering from. Is it suffering from actually from diet? Is it suffering from, vitamin deficiency? Is it suffering from, any, so it can be, it could be stress for you. So when all these things are combined, then probably, then the magic, your body starts to show that magic to you. So
exactly.
How was your diet? I mean, just if we elaborate on your diet, how was your diet in a day? Did you do a lot of juicing? Did you do a lot of
Yes, I did. I did do a lot of juicing. I didn't follow a raw food diet, but with every meal that I ate, I had some raw food, like a salad with herbs and sprouts. Sprouts are very nutritional.
Yeah.
Easy to make again, very easy to make. And then just use lemon juice and olive oil on it. And so that was the main thing. And so I ate a lot of vegetables, especially the cruciferous vegetables, which is your broccoli, your kale, your spinach, cauliflower. All of those have got wonderful anti-cancer properties. Brussels sprouts, which I don't like. I didn't eat those, but but I ate enough of the others. I had garlic, ginger, turmeric in my food all the time. Even now, I love turmeric in my food. I love the Indian spices in my food. They're so healing. They have so many. I make myself a beautiful turmeric drink with coconut milk and cinnamon. Cinnamon is wonderful for your blood sugar levels, which is also important in your healing. With ginger, cinnamon, turmeric, and a little bit of black pepper. I juiced at least every day. I had like two juices, big fruit and vegetable juices, green juices.
All right.
And then I ate fruit. I ate berries, especially because they have especially your blueberries.
Yeah.
All the dark colors are very good for anti-cancerous because they have very high antioxidant values as well, and the pigmentation in them also help you to detox.
Right.
Now I eat a lot of fermented vegetables as well, fermented foods, because that they naturally restore
help with the probiotics, gut health,
your gut. But the gut, I just want to mention here that to restore the gut fully, you have to restore the lining. So you can you can eat a lot of probiotics all the time, and it might not restore your gut health. But as soon as you restore the lining, and a very, very good way of restoring the lining is with bone broth. Bone broth has got collagen in it, and it's got that gelatin in that lines that stomach lining so beautifully. And then it gives the opportunity for the probiotics actually to clutch onto it and to grow and to get more. So I discovered that since I use bone broth, it improved my gut a tremendous amount as well. And of course, for the gut, also prebiotic foods is good. Also, so those are your seeds. It's all your fibers that you need in there. Your flaxseed, especially your nuts that you soak first for digestion, and then eat them. Your chia seeds, also very important as a prebiotic, and omega-3 in your chia seeds and in your flax seeds.
And what about supplements? Yeah, supplements, you're coming for supplements.
Supplements, magnesium supplements, I find very
All right.
important. And a good B supplement for your stress levels initially, and then herbal supplements. You know, like
Got it.
your. I used to drink a beautiful a shake with turmeric and other herbs in there. That I can't remember exactly all the herbs in there, but I used to have the shake, and afterwards you just feel that it's so good for you, you know. And but turmeric has got a wonderful effect on the body. It's very healing, very, very healing. And you don't have to go and buy the expensive, you know, pills. You can just use a good non-irradiated spice. Don't go and buy the irradiated ones. Mix with a bit of black pepper. So.
Got it. And I mean, so all these things that you did in the dietary part specifically, were they, did you also do any blood reports to monitor them, you know, to understand whether all these things are working, or is it creating any deficiency for me, or any of these sorts?
I didn't, and because it obviously costs a lot of money, and you know, the medical aid, if you have a medical aid, they're not prepared to pay for these kind of things. So,
Got it.
and so I think that in the end, your body will tell you what you need, and food is really the most important thing. We mustn't waste too much money on pills. I mean, there's a place for pills as well, but I think that food should really be your medicine, as they say, and eat the best food that you can afford. If you can get organic, eat organic. If you can't, get fresh vegetables, fresh food. Make sure that don't eat the highly sprayed, the 12 most highly sprayed vegetables and fruits, which include spinach, I think one of them, and berries are one of them. So blueberries. So, but there are fruits and vegetables that's safe to eat also. That's not so highly sprayed, like your broccolis and your bananas and your pineapples and all the fruits with the thick skins. They're more safer to eat. But yeah, eat the best food that you possibly can afford, and eat and drink lots of water, lots of clean water. The lymph is made up of 95% of water. And for that lymph to work properly, it needs the water to flow.
Right. Great. I mean, that's a fantastic advice. So now coming back to today, what is your diet today? I mean, after all these years, do you follow something similar, or are you back to your normal usual diet? How does it work?
I don't. I try to avoid gluten, because many of us, if we're not allergic to it, we're intolerant. Because gluten does affect your digestion. It slows the digestion down. Unless you ferment your wheat, then it can. Some people can still tolerate that, but you've got to test your body and see what is good for you. If you start to get to know your body, you will understand what foods are good for you or not. I avoid sugar. I don't eat sugar. I don't use milk. I use only fermented milks. I make my own kefir. So I eat I make a lot of my own fermented vegetables and drinks. So I make kombucha, which is tea, fermented tea. I make kefir from milk because of the beautiful probiotics is in there. I make a lot of sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. And I make other fermented foods as well. I eat miso. I don't eat any soya except if it's fermented. So, There's soya is a bit controversial, but I avoid soya. I do not eat too many grains, although I know that rice makes up a very important part of your diet there, and there are
Right.
benefits to that also. You have people that heal themselves with rice and vegetables, and then of course the spices with that. So, but I think the spices are very important. I include a lot of spices in my food. My food are very spicy. So, and I think your
Got it.
spices that you use in India are so good.
Yeah. Very,
And
I
your
mean,
tea.
specifically, yeah, I mean, all these things in India are very easily available here. And,
That's right.
we actually, almost every Indian family probably includes a lot of spices in their daily life every day.
Yes, yes,
Probably in lunch, probably as part of their habit. It's just not us, probably it's coming down from generations now. So we,
yes.
we just have a habit of eating a lot of turmeric and, a lot of garlic and a lot of onions. It's just a staple meat.
Yeah, and I think that's very, very important. So if you're already doing that, then maybe you're healing, you've got to go and look for something else that you've got to improve,
Right,
in your diet.
right,
So,
right.
yeah, so I think that we all learn as we go along and we learn new things or every day. A very important supplement that I use is moringa powder. And I think you make moringa in your country as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
It's very high in vitamins. It gives you strength. It's got a lot of chlorophyll in it. And I also like to do little, what is it, the seedlings, that you eat.
Seedlings. Yeah.
Yeah. And you cut it off and you put in your salads because that's so fresh,
Right.
and you can grow those
Yeah.
yourself as well. So there's a lot one can do for yourself for health.
That is true. That is actually true. True. So, what advice will you give to someone who is hearing this podcast and is looking to get some opinion out of it?
I would say, well, look at all the videos you've got on the testimonies you have on your YouTube channel. Listen carefully and consider your options. Sometimes there is a place for surgery, I think. But the other two I'm not so sure about, but that's my personal opinion and I can't tell anyone what to do. But definitely by changing your diet, changing your mindset, become happy, and you will definitely do yourself a favor by doing that. You will do your body a favor as well.
Yeah. Diet, lifestyle change, therapies, detoxification, mental health, I mean, all these things combined will give you an effect that you can't even imagine. So this is something that, definitely, not just diet, not just mental health, probably a combination of all these things is something that will actually help you in, in making or breaking it what you're planning to do in the next 2 months, 3 months, in your next goals. So this is an extremely important thing. But great. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, how can they do so?
They can reach out to me via email. They can reach me on my email on
All right.
on wotherspoond@mweb.co.za. They can also, if they want to learn about my full journey, they can buy my book online at amazon.com. There is an ebook. It is not expensive. I try to make it as affordable as possible for people to get, to learn, and to use. And and I have a website also that they can look at. I discuss quite a few things on my website as well. So so they can get hold of me like that.
Amazing. I'll add all the links in the description, and anyone who wants to directly connect with Miss Weatherspoon, they can do so. And great. I mean, it was a fantastic interview, and thank you so much for sharing all the experiences that you had in your journey, especially battling this, because all of them, they have different experiences, and all of them look out for information related to their cancers. So it's very important that someone who is listening to this podcast, they definitely would have a better idea on how to move ahead. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you for the time that you gave me to share my journey.